Yeah, thanks, Mlady. All right, so welcome everyone. Let's start our very first demo as a Nova Wallet team. And yeah, we're very excited. So give me a second to launch. Great. All right. Yeah, welcome everyone. Today we're going to discuss the Nova Wallet features like in general. And we will try something special today. Like it mentioning on the screen, we'll try to add new network on the fly. So if you already downloaded Nova Wallet on Android, you probably saw that there are lots of the networks already. And today we'll try something special, which is by adding the new network to the app so that users wanting to basically update the app, it will basically appear automatically. So yeah, it's very exciting. All right, so our agenda will be traditional. So first, we will introduce the Nova wallet and what goals we have building the Nova. Then we'll tune to the demo because we have lots of things to share today. So we'll try to allocate the most time of today's presentation to this part. And we're going to discuss like a multi-asset features, like how users can basically send different assets using Nova. We'll also touch base on the crowdloans because it's a pretty hot topic right now on both Polkadot and Kusama, and we have some exciting features there. We'll briefly cover staking part because there are not much updates there, but we will share our plans and ideas. And yes, as I already mentioned, kind of the core feature today would be adding a new network, and we will discuss it on the demo. And of course, in the end of the presentation, we will have plans and roadmap update. All right. So yeah, let's start by introducing the Nova wallet. So Nova wallet is a mobile app for Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem, and we are trying to focus on a top-notch user interface and user experience, as well as on the performance and security. So our goal is to build the application which would be unbiased to any network, which will aim to provide as many features as possible and which is mainly requested by the community. So we are carefully listening to the community for the feedback and for the feature requests, and we align our plans towards that. Basically, Nova Wallet is based on our work on the Fearless Wallet open source code, which we did previously, and we migrated due to the different vision and the goals. So once again, if we go deeply to the goals of Nova Wallet, we are focusing on building a high quality and consumer-oriented mobile application for the ecosystem, which means that we are focused on a user-friendly interface, on the security aspects of the app, and the way that app will work very fast in terms of the performance and will allow users to use like lots of the features of the ecosystem. We will not have any restrictions for our users in Nova Wallet, as well as we don't require users to pay any extra fees. So that's our vision and basically goal. And yes, as I mentioned, we are unbiased to any network and we are willing to provide as many features as we can to the users. The next goal of Nova Wallet is to provide and maintain Substrate iOS and Android SDKs for the community, which are open source and documented and up to date, since basically Nova Wallet is using them according to all Substrate changes. And Substrate, by the way, is a framework which is used to build, well, most of the networks and ecosystems, such as Polkadot, Kusama, and others. And our final goal is to basically contribute to the whole ecosystem from the side of client app development team. Basically, what we did in the past, we have composed and delivered the proposal with subquery to develop the common API so that other applications can improve the UX in their apps. We also did the bounty in Kusama for mobile signer solution, and we are willing to continue on it. We contributed to the several ecosystem projects like Polkascan, Subscan, Subquery, and so on. So we are helping to improve such products in the ecosystem. And of course, we are working with relay chain and parachain teams, basically from the client app perspective to test the solutions and basically improve them. And as for the community, you basically can see the links on the slide. You can join our Telegram community. We have international group, announcement channel, and the Russian group, and we're willing to expand to other communities as well. Also follow us on Twitter, join Element Chat, and follow the Medium for like announcement articles and others. And we're also planning to open the YouTube because basically we will upload the videos with the demos there. And yeah, it's just easier to share. Right. I think that's it for the introduction part. And now we can dive into the most exciting part of today's demo, which is, demo itself. So what we're willing to show to you today is basically consists of the two parts, and we will divide it between the iOS and Android applications. So first, I will show you the following list of features using my iOS device right here. And then we will switch to the Android emulator, which I have, by the way, right here opened, for the basically demonstrating how easily we can add networks. So it will require some actions in the web application, but yeah, you will see how it's done. So yeah, regarding the demo content. So first, we would like to show you the multi-asset features. So how can you view the balances and fiat values for your basically accounts in your wallet? Then we will try to send like Kusamas, Mover, Cars, and other tokens. It's up to you to decide. Basically, all of them would be available on the screen. And we will also try to view the history of operations for the account. For the crowd loans, it's basically an interesting topic because the state is that Nova supports all crowd loans by default. However, some crowd loans have either unique logic, for example, Moonbeam crowd loan, or some additional incentives programs, for example, Acala Liquid contribution and referral codes and Astar referral codes. So we'll show how it works in Nova Wallet. And then, yes, we'll touch base on the staking in terms of like how we are going to update user interface and maintain staking features in Nova Wallet. And also, we'll touch base on the wallet features themselves, because what we did in Nova is basically introduced a new way of managing and storing your accounts for the ecosystem, right? So we will touch base on that one as well. And for the network, and after that, we'll switch to the adding new network to the app. All right, so let me turn the sharing for basically my iOS device, and we will proceed. Just give me a second. It's always requiring me to install the Zoom plugin. I don't know why. All right. All right, so can you see my iOS device screen now? Okay, wonderful. So I have here 3 versions of Nova, and let me explain. So first one, Nova Dev, is basically our internal builds, which we update like daily based on how often we deliver something new to the app. The next to the right of Nova Dev is basically Nova. That's a kind of unique thing what we did. We allowing community members, while we're waiting for App Store review, to join our Firebase app distribution. And basically users can download Nova Early Access using that application. So that is the version which I will be using today to demo iOS features. And that is the version which is available to everyone today. Right, and the other one is basically a version from the App Store test flight. This is the one which we sent to the Apple, and this is the one which is being reviewed right now. So yeah, so don't be confused seeing all these Nova apps. All right, so as I said, I will use that one. And basically, yeah, here's how the users are able to see the balances right now in the app, right? So you can see that all of the ecosystem tokens, or most of them, let's say, are available on the single screen, and users basically can switch between their wallets, which they're added to the app, to basically see the different balances of the different tokens, right? Which is kind of cool. So what we're planning to do here is that yes, for now we have something like 15 networks and tokens, right? But with the amount growing of the networks which we support and the amount of the tokens which we are able to support, basically this list will grow, right? And will increase. So what we're going to do, we'll add the button to manage assets so that user can turn off and on the assets which they would like or wouldn't like to see, right? But yeah, that's how we can already see the balances and all the tokens which we support. Let's go, for example, to the Kusama, right? So that's how basically the assets details look like into the app. So users can now see basically their total balances, the transferable part of it, and the locked part of it. And if we will tap on the locked, we can see details about why it's locked and where. So for example, on this particular Kusama account, we can see that 11 plus Kusamas are locked for staking, and almost 2 Kusamas are locked for the reservation, which is reservation for identity, right? We also can see the history of this account with operations and ability to filter them, right? So if you would like to see only transfers, for example, we can apply this filter and see only transfers. The interesting part of it and the challenge for us as a development team is to provide such history for all of these networks, because basically what you can see here is all individual networks like Kusama, Moonriver, Karura, Rashid, and so on. And that required us as a development team to individually support their history. While it's been a challenge for us, we already started to implement it. So for example, for this particular account, you can see the history for Moonriver account, which is already using the staking of the Mover tokens, right? So we can see the history with the staking rewards here. However, if we tap on Karura, we don't support Karura history yet, but we are working on it. So we're planning to deliver such improvements with time, because that requires us to basically implement unique support for each networks. And we are already communicating with ecosystem teams, for example, subquery, subscan, and subscript teams on how we can do this in optimal way, right? Okay, so let's try to basically test. So let's try to send Kusama tokens first, right? Because that's well tested and easy. So let's get the Kusama address of this account. So we tap on Kusama here, receive, tap here, copy address, and we'll go back to the other wallet to basically send Kusamas. We're tapping address here, and basically no wallet always verifies that you entered the right address of the network. So you cannot send your Kusamas to the Polkadot address or like another network address. The app will tell you about that. And I will show you that in a minute. So basically we want to eliminate user errors, right? Because there are lots of the cases while users trying to withdraw the tokens from the exchanges, for example, and exchanges doesn't know the specifics of Polkadot ecosystem that, for example, Polkadot addresses are looking like that, Kusama addresses looking like that, and oftenly users are sending dot tokens to the Kusama addresses, for example, and that's creating an issue for the user. Now, that cannot be done in the no wallet because no wallet helps users to identify this. But since we copied the Kusama address, everything is fine. So let's try to send 1 Kusamas, for example, here, and confirm the transfer. We can see the transfer operation added to the history with the pending status for now. So we are waiting for the confirmation from the blockchain side for these transfers to be committed. We can also see the details of it on a separate screen, and we can basically tap on extrinsic hash, for example, and see how we can view this operation in, for example, Polkascan or Subscan. So let's try to view it in Polkascan. That's not being finalized yet. So that's why it's not available in Polkascan. So let's try the Subscan. And it's loading for Subscan. But yeah, now it's loaded and we can see the all transfer details that we transferred 1 Kusamas. So yeah, users can easily go to the block explorers to basically verify these operations, right? Okay, So let's try to do something special. For example, Polkascan might not work. Okay, I hope they will fix their service soon. So let's try to send, for example, Karura or Mover or Shiden tokens. And let's start with the most complex one, which is Moonriver. The Moonriver is kind of unique case in terms of the networks because they're using the Ethereum cryptography, not the one which most of the networks in the ecosystem are using, but they're using the Ethereum cryptography. So which requires extra effort from our side, but let's basically go to some wallet, copy the Moonriver address of it, and we will try to do the transfer of Mover tokens, right? So we tap send, we enter the Mover address, and once again, we just enter the amount, let's say 1 Mover, and the confirm transfer. Exactly the same procedure, but take into the account that parachains on the Kusama now requires slightly more time to finalize the operations, but yeah, it went pretty quick. You can see that now it's finalized, and we can do pretty much the same operations. So we can tap on here, and notice that we don't have Polkascan option here. We have only Subscan option because only Subscan supports Moonriver network. So let's try to see what Subscan will show us about this operation. And yeah, basically that's the transfer. Let's see. And yeah, value 1 Mover. So I guess that's how Subscan shows the operation. But anyways, you can switch to the Nova and see the transaction details. Right, so should we send some cars or Shiden tokens, or we should proceed to other features? Yeah, I think we can show the how address verification works. Like previously we copied the Mover address, right? So let's try to do this thing with user, for example, trying to enter Kusama address for Karura transfer. So let's see how no wallet will react to it. So we go to Karura with Kusama features, with Kusama, sorry, address. We're trying to paste it, and basically that's what no wallet tells you. Make sure that the address is from the right network. We're going to improve it by basically stating more information that you have entered the Kusama address, and please, you need to enter like Karura address here, because we need to provide more context information for the user. Currently, this error is too general. But anyways, the app is not allowing to do that for you, which is good. Other features. All right, so let's go to the Crowdloans then, because I think we reviewed the multi-asset aspect for now. And we will discuss the wallet thing after Crowdloans and staking, all right? So we will discuss in details how it works. So let's go to the Crowdloans. Basically, that's how Crowdloan screen looks like. We have a selector for the network with the Crowdloans available. So if we will tap here, we will see 3 networks, Polkadot, Kusama, and Westend. That's basically networks which Nova support in terms of the Crowdloans. Yeah, everyone is familiar with Polkadot and Kusama, and Westend is just a testnet to basically allow you to test the Nova features in any way. But yeah, we're here to focus on Polkadot and Kusama Crowdloans today. So let's see how it looks like. We have a list of active Crowdloans. For now, it's 10 of them. And basically what we can do, we can switch to the Kusama Crowdloans and see the list of the Kusama Crowdloans in the same way. What we have on the Kusama, we have finished Crowdloans. So you can see the ones which already completed. There are lots of them, 13 Crowdloans already completed on Kusama, right? And what we also have here is kind of interesting thing. We have a separate button to see your contributions. Now, previously we had it in slightly different way. We had it in the area of each Crowdloan. So right here for the Quartz, for example, we have a raised amount, and below that amount, there were string called like you contributed and there is an amount of it. Now we decided to change it because in a mobile format, and you can see it specifically on Kusama, there are lots of crowdloans to scroll, right? And user might contribute to the ones which already finished. So that's create a stress for the user to basically go down to the screen and see like how many Kusama tokens are contributed in the past. So we decided to basically accumulate this information on a separate screen. So you tap on your contributions and you see on the single screen all contributions that you made using your Kusama account, right? So that's the list basically which allows you to go to the parachain teams and request your rewards, basically, because you have all information how many you contributed to them. Yeah. So that's kind of an improvement thing which we did for the crowd loans. Now let's cover the unique cases for the crowd loans on Polkadot, which are happening right now. I will switch to the account with some DOT tokens now to test. And again, this account has already contributed to some of the crowd loans, right? And let's start with the Moonbeam crowd loan, because that one is the most, let's say, unique one, right? And let's see how contribution looks like. If we tap on the Moonbeam crowd loan, basically you can see that there are some checks are happening. So basically that's the checks for the region, because Moonbeam has slightly stricter rules for the crowd loan participants than others do. So the no wallet allows you to contribute in a decentralized way, but at the same time, it has to comply to the rules of the Moonbeam crowd loan, which is region restriction and other one. So notice that we immediately went to the contribution screen. However, that's not the case for the first contribution. So let's see how the first contribution look like for the user. And for that, I will go to the, let's say, yeah, let's say this account. We will transfer some Polkadot tokens on that account. Just give me a second. And we will use this account to show you how the Moonbeam contribution flow looks like from scratch, because that's an important thing. Okay, we did transfer, and let's switch to this account. Yeah, now we see the dot tokens. So that's what will users have while contributing to the Moonbeam crowdloan. Now, notice that the app is asking you to add the Moonbeam account. And that's actually the thing which we discussed with the Moonbeam team. So users, if there is no a Moonbeam account added to the Nova, they will be requested to add the Moonbeam account. And they have two options, like to create or import account. Let's go with the create one. Yeah, I just show you the mnemonic passphrase. So yeah, we will not use that one. But basically, user need to go and generate or add the Moonbeam account to the application. Why is it required? It is required because Moonbeam team basically suggested us to have a way for a user to basically not have a room for error by entering the Ethereum address, which is required for Moonbeam contribution. But we will see it a little bit lately now. So first step in Moonbeam contribution is to basically to apply to the terms and conditions, right, which is available by this link, and anyone can review it. So let's agree to this. And now we need to submit this agreement to the Polkadot blockchain so that Moonbeam team can basically extract this data and understand that this particular Polkadot account has agreed to the terms and conditions. And this loading is basically checking that. So we are finalizing the operation on the Polkadot network, and then we are waiting for the Moonbeam to provide us a confirmation that yes, they see that and they allow us to contribute. Now, once we've done that, we can basically contribute to the Moonbeam crowdloan, right? So we can enter the amount. Yeah, the minimum one is a 5 dots, so something like that. And notice that user don't need to basically enter the Ethereum address, because that's your Moonbeam account, which is already added to your application, mnemonic of which I have shown to everyone. So we will not do this contribution. So there is zero room for error. Like users will not make a mistake by entering either exchange address or the address which they do not have an access to, and so on. So basically, that allows us to eliminate the room of error or minimize it, let's say. And yeah, we'll tap to continue, and that would confirm our contribution. But yeah, we will not do that from this account, but let's do this from the other one, for example, from the Nova. We go here. Notice that Nova account already has a contribution to Moonbeam that allows us to not accept the terms and conditions because we already did that, and Nova understand that and allow you to not spend your time and transaction fees to submit this contribution again. You can just proceed with submitting another contribution. So let's do that. Confirm. And that's it, because Moonbeam Crowdloan, while it's being unique, it's still the crowdloan in its natural way, because that's just another type of crowdloans in the Polkadot and Kusama, which are called verified crowdloans. Basically, you need to receive the signature from the parachain team to allow your contribution to go. And that's what behind the scenes No Wallet is doing. It communicates with the Moonbeam services to receive the signature to allow you to contribute. But yeah, let's see your contributions. Now you have 45 dots contributed, so it works. So that's regarding the Moonbeam crowdloan. Any questions here? If not, let's slowly continue with Acala crowdloan. So for Acala crowdloan, there are two types of contribution, as many of you know. Direct contribution, basically using the crowdloan module on Polkadot, or liquid contribution. Basically, that's a regular transfer to Acala account, which allows them to aggregate your dots and then transfer or use them in their special program. You can see the differences here with the link. So you can see the different ways, like what is different between traditional or direct crowdloan with a liquid crowdloan, right? But basically, the flow is pretty straightforward. You select the type of contribution, either direct or liquid. And there is important thing. So for the direct, you need to at least 5 dots. And for the liquid, you need at least 1 dot. So I will go with the liquid one because I have only 3 dots left. So let's enter, for example, 2 dots. And also, Acala Crowdloan has a referral bonuses. So we can tap here, and users can provide their referral code if they have any, or they can just apply the no wallet code. And basically, they need to agree with the terms and conditions to use the referral codes. Hit apply. With the apply feature, we are basically checking with the Acala team that this is the right and valid referral code, and you see that it is. And now we'll continue, and we can see our estimated reward and the bonus, which is provided by the referral code itself. And basically, yeah, that's it. We tap confirm, and contribution is done. And yeah, what we have here is the Astar crowdloan, as well with a similar thing with a bonus, but in their case, it's only 1%, but the similar logic applies. And we have all other crowdloans, like Manta crowdloans. You can see that the flow is pretty much the same. And all of them are supported from basically the moment they submitted to the Polkadot blockchain, right? So that's, I guess, it for the Polkadot and Kusama crowdloans in No Wallet. Are there any questions? If not, then let's go according to the plan, and let's just briefly talk about staking, because not much is changed here in terms of the functionality. However, the similar flow is applied. So users can basically switch between Polkadot and Kusama networks here on the screen and see different conditions for staking, right? You can see your estimated dot earnings, like average APY and maximum API. It depends on which letters you will choose. And basically similar for the Kusama. And for example, if we will go to the in my case, validator account staking, you will be able to manage your either nominator account or validator accounts in a pretty much the same way. So you can see the pending rewards, you can manage your staking balance, and so on. So all of this remained the same. We slightly updated user interface already. So if you will see, for example, here, we updated this estimated widget. So now it has clearly showing the API of the staking for this particular token. And in our plans, we also planning to communicate with, for example, parachain teams to implement their specific staking features. For example, Acala and Karura has the liquid staking program. Moonriver has Mover and Glimmer staking, and we are planning to communicate with this team to basically implement in native user interface opportunity for users to stake those tokens or to use these different staking programs. And as for the staking analytics, we provided lots of the insights or updates on that, right? But basically the status is we have finished the implementation for iOS quite a while ago. However, we are waiting or we are working with the subquery team on the performance improvements for the staking analytics so that it can handle the load of many users to use this feature. The progress is pretty good, so I expect it to be released quite soon. And for the Android, we're planning to expand the team to basically implement that. All right, so that's regarding the staking features, and let's dive into the wallet because that's the most, let's say, new feature, right? So we decided to switch from the traditional account model where you have like Polkadot accounts or Kusama accounts or like many other accounts, just because if you will see the screen, you will need to basically switch between all of these accounts all the time to basically see the balance or use the features, which can be not really comfortable for the user. So instead, we decided to come up with something called wallets, right? And in the wallets, you have a collection of the accounts inside. And what is cool about that is that actually for this account, all this, for this wallet, sorry, all these accounts are sharing the secret. So all of them are sharing the same key pair. You can see that Polkadot, Kusama, they have the similar icons. And don't look to the Moonbeam and Moonriver. They are special cases because they are Ethereum-based networks. But just see that all of them are under section that accounts with the shared secret, which means that you can safely use your mnemonic to basically move all of these tokens from one app to another or just to restore it lately. All of them are under your control, which is cool. And you can basically tap on them and see like copy address, view in Subscan, Polkascan, export account, and change account, which is a very unique feature. Let me show you. For example, we will go to this particular wallet and we will go here. So when we were working with the Moonbeam and Moonriver team, there was a requirement for us to handle specific sites from the cryptography. Basically, if user using the mnemonic passphrase, we can always generate for them Moonriver and Moonbeam account. Let's try that out. Basically, we tap add wallet, create new wallet. Let's say new. Skip progress, and let's go to the details of this wallet. So you can see that Moonbeam and Moonriver actually under the section of shared accounts, which is cool, which means that we have access using the same mnemonic to this account. However, if we will try to import account using, for example, restore JSON or seed, and you can see that that's possible in terms of the export in Nova, right? So if users importing account using restore JSON or raw seed, we cryptographically cannot generate Moonbeam and Moonriver accounts, which means that they are required to add them by themselves, right? That's the case of this account, for example. You can see that for Moonriver, account is not found, which means that I can tap here, and I can see that Moonriver account is found. However, if users importing account using restore JSON or raw seed, we cryptographically cannot generate Moonbeam and Moonriver accounts, which means that they are required to add them by themselves, right? That's the case of this account, for example. You can see that for Moonriver, account is not found, which means that I can tap here and either create account or import account so that this wallet will have the Moonriver account also connected. And also you can see that in case of this wallet, we have accounts with shared secret, which are sharing the same basically key pair. And we have accounts with a custom secret. That's the shared ones, which basically I imported my Ethereum account to this wallet, and I'm using this for the Moonbeam. Now, what does it mean for users? Many of you created different accounts for the Polkadot and Kusama networks just because it's a general recommendation. It's like an investment advice to not keep your eggs in the same basket, right? And the same following to the crypto world. So you need to create, or you should create a different accounts for different networks, right? However, in general, you just need to make sure that you're not sharing your key pair or your mnemonic with anyone, and you keep your mnemonic safely and securely. That's it. So that's what you need to do. And basically you can maintain only one key pair just for simplicity. However, to cover use cases of users who have different accounts for different networks, for example, they created in the past, we can basically manage that. We can tap here for Kusama, change account, create a new account or import, it doesn't matter. And what we will see here, we will see that we can customize our wallet in the way we need it, right? So we can add all these network accounts to the one wallet just to make sure that it's easier for us to manage now that, right? In one app in terms of one wallet. So it will be easier for a user to collect all these accounts inside one wallet and use them on these old screens like Crowdloans, staking, wallet, and so on. So that's the option for users to have. However, in terms of the wallets, you can create as much of them as you need. So yeah, that's basically what we introduced and implemented in terms of the wallets and accounts now. There are many plans how we can improve this, and we will do that based on our feedback and on the community feedback. But we have tested this solution internally for quite a long time, and we are pretty satisfied with what we have achieved here. So it's really comfortable to use this approach in a way. All right, so are there any questions for this wallet stuff? Because it can get a little bit complicated, but we will maximize our efforts to basically try to simplify it as much as we can. Yeah, I will take the suggest to answer it in the end. All right. Okay, so let's move on to basically our second part of the demo. And let me stop sharing my iOS device and resume sharing of my screen of the PC. So the next part is adding new networks. And yeah, let's do it in less than 5 minutes, but not to start the count right now, because first I need to explain what we're going to do. So basically, what we have here as an approach, we will listen for the community request, or like we will watch the ecosystem state for the new networks arriving, for example, parachains and so on. And basically, once we see that there is a need to add new network to the Nova wallet, we will do this in the following sequence. We will add configuration file in a GitHub repository, and I will show you how it looks like. We will test internally using our development builds of Nova wallet, that integration is passing all required tests and so on. And once that's done, we can add this network on the fly to the production application, because basically what Nova wallet is using, it's using the GitHub file, which is in open source with some information about the network. And it is enough for Nova wallet to understand without any servers or middlewares how to communicate with this network, because that's how Polkadot and Kusama and other substrate-based networks works. So let's try to do this, and then we will talk why it's cool. So let me show you how it looks like. Let's go to the GitHub, and our team already prepared all required configuration here on the GitHub. But basically, you can see that what we need to understand, or what no wallet needs to understand, is the following information. Basically, it's the name of the network, how to treat its assets, what public nodes it has to connect to, what types it's using in terms of the substrate, what icon to provide, how to treat its accounts, and so on. We can also inject information here about, like, is this network support staking, or is this network supports the crowd loans, and any information like that. It's totally configurable using this. So what we're trying to do, we will try to add Referral Heiko, which is parachain on the Kusama, and we will try to add the Edgeware, which is basically ecosystem network, right? And for the Edgeware, they have even their token listed. So that's why we will include the price ID information so that app can fetch this. So let's take a look on the application right now. So that's the list of networks and tokens which I have in my Android application. So we have Kusama, Moonriver, Karura, Shiden, Bifrost, StateMine, Calamari, Kilt, Hala, Polkadot, and Westend. And that's it. So now we're going to approve this change basically in our open source repository, right? And you can see that team already verified that everything is correct, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to approve these changes and merge it. And now you can start your countdown timer for a 5 minutes countdown, because it takes 5 minutes for a GitHub to update the information on their side. So 5 minutes is limitation of the GitHub to update the changes which we just merged. And yeah, basically we can go to the Novutils. By the way, we have some meta information for all the builders to use, such as information about Crowdloans, parachain icons, and yeah, information about the networks themselves. But we just applied the change to the chains JSON. This particular file is used by the production version of Nova Wallet, which means that we need to make sure that the information which we just merged is already here, and we can verify it in this way, just to see how the GitHub returns this file. Let's try to find Edgeware. I can see that it's already updated. So most likely this file is already updated and we can relaunch our Nova application. So let's do that. Similar thing I have here. I have dev version of Nova with the cat icon, and I have production version of Nova with regular icon. So let's see. We have just opened the wallet, and it seems that GitHub is not yet updated. Oh no, it is. So you can see that how this network is appeared on the screen, right? So now we can see that Edgeware is added to the app. And now you just saw that Referral Heiko is just uploaded, which is amazing. So now we can go to the details of Edgeware and see not only the balance, but also like a fiat ratio, which is, I have almost $1 worth of Edgeware tokens. And we can also see the Referral Heiko network with their token, basically. And all of that is also added to your wallet here. So now you can see your address of Edgeware, right? And you can export this account or change the account or copy address. And the same for the Referral Heiko, which is quite cool. Now, we are not only supporting adding networks on the fly, we are supporting like the feature set of this network. So let's try to send some Edgeware tokens, for example, to this account. For that, I need to have my, or let's try to do something cooler. Let's try to do this with a Polkadot.js. So let's find the Edgeware network in Polkadot.js here. And then we will try to use the Nova wallet to send some Edgeware tokens here. I have account address of my teammate, Valentin, and we will paste the Edgeware address here. So once again, all this magic with address verification works as well for the Edgeware, right? And now let's send, I don't know, quarter of worth Edgeware, which is 10 Edgewares tokens. And yeah, notice how everything working. So transfer fee calculation is working, address validation is working, and the transfers themselves, let's hope that they work, right? Yeah. Yeah, we can see that in the history, I have transferred 10 Edgewares. It's just committed, right? So I have all this information here. And probably Valentin, yeah, we can see that it's reflected in this account balances as well. So yeah, we just added 2 networks and we just confirmed that no wallet on the fly supports not only balances of these networks, but also features such as transfer. And we can go deeper. We can add the networks and enable staking from the fly for these networks with some conditions, which we'll talk in a moment. So yeah, I think that's it for the demo of adding new networks. So are there any questions or comments before we will proceed with the slides about that? Please check waiting room. I don't see anyone in waiting room. Probably they have left. But yeah, I will pay more attention on that. All right, so let's come back to the slides. We have just like five minutes of slides left. All right, so why it's important to add networks on the fly, or why it's needed, what I have just shown. So basically 2 points, at least 2 points, right? First one, users don't like to update the apps. So receiving new network on the fly is a great improvement for the user experience, right? Because there is zero amount of effort required from a user to basically receive support for the new network, right? The second point here is that our team and the community, because it's open source repository, can add newly launched networks or parachains in this particular point, so that users who are using the application of Nova application, the production, will receive the rewards right away in the wallet, right? Because you can see that basically the case that users contributing to the parachain Crowdloans, right? Then parachain is launched. However, there is a need for a user to receive rewards, and no wallet will support it like from day 0, because once parachain is launched, we can instantly add it on the fly and wait for the parachain teams to distribute the rewards. Now, how it works, and we will just cover it on the high level. And I'm happy to answer this outside the demo, like in our community. But basically, no wallet is advanced enough to connect to any substrate network and to understand its runtime, which is basically logic of the network, using the set of configuration which we just show in the open source GitHub repository. That's possible because how substrate-based networks like Polkadot and Kusama are sharing its logic in the runtime metadata form, which is very cool. However, there are still certain limitations to this process, because runtimes can be very different one from another, right? And in this case, it still require us to add an additional work for this network to support, just like we did for the Moonriver and Moonbeam, because they're using a different cryptography, or just like how we cannot add several networks, which are the parachains already, just because they have customized runtime and they're not using the default substrate pairs for balances, for example. But generally, most of the networks can be added on the fly, and that's what we're going to do for the users. All right, that's it for the demo part. I have a set of questions Do you have anything in place against a hack target? Yeah, that's a great question. So basically, we will update this this configuration file into the Nova, right? So once user downloaded the application will have from a start the up-to-date version of this configuration file, right? And then we are just getting updates from the GitHub for this file. But your question is regarding the hack targeting your repository. So you're asking regarding like swapping the response from the GitHub for the Nova device to just malfunction it. That's a good question. I think we will target it in a way how No Wallet will apply changes from this file. So yeah, I think we will discuss internally with the team how we can address this this attack. But that's a great question. Thank you. If you support Moonriver, Moonbeam, does that mean you could also support other Ethereum IP? Yes, that means exactly that, because we have introduced the Ethereum cryptography, and that allows us to basically now to implement Ethereum API. But that's not what we are going to do like in the short-term plans, because we are focused on the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem, but long-term we might connect these Ethereum-based networks not only from the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem, but yeah, mainly we are targeting those who are in the ecosystem. Okay. And regarding the Raul's question, I think I will address it once I will present the plans and roadmap, because it's kind of related. Okay. So here on the screen, we have basically the roadmap for No Wallet. That's our vision for the next year, for 2022, and the part of like current year, which is December and November. But basically, we are planning to improve the app in a general way. So, for example, such features like selecting the fiat currency, so that users will see their fiat value not only in USD, but in other fiat values. We are planning to support also, of course, for the hotfixes, for open source library updates, and for the minor feature requests. So all of this would be all the time support which we provide for the No Wallet. Also, we are planning to work with the parachain teams to implement the most requested features from the community. For example, like custom staking implementation, what we are going to do with the Moonriver and Moonbeam team. We are looking towards integrating the decentralized exchange functionality, and we will think how we can do it in a fair way for both users and the ecosystem. Probably we will end up with some sort of aggregator which connects to different DEXs and forms the optimal route for the users will to swap tokens. However, they probably would be able to switch from the optimal scenario by to the manual one and select one of the DEX which we support. But yeah, we will see. Privacy features and other, which are basically a huge spectrum of the specific parachain features which we will see in the ecosystem, especially in the next year, during which parachains will start to shine. But in terms of the general features, and our will is to come up with the proposals to Kusama Treasury to implement those, are the following. So with all these parachains launching, we are willing to add something called the app browser, which will allow users to use their accounts from No Wallet to connect to the web applications, for example, Singular or existing parachain applications, like there is a Moonriver staking the app, there is Shiden the app for staking, there is Karura website with the DEX functionality, and so on. So all of this would be possible for the users in No Wallet to use the application to connect to this basically the apps, which is basically allows users to explore all of this functionality, right? Now, next one is the NFT, and we are working with a remarkable team on that. But basically, we are planning to support NFT in the ecosystem so that users can not only see all their tokens, but all their other assets, for example, NFTs. The huge one would be the governance and the cold wallets, which require not only technical support of them, but we are also willing to solve the major challenge for the community and the ecosystem, which is basically to provide a convenient way and to educate the user base about the governance, which is a major part of the ecosystem decision making, right? So we would like to develop not only just a support for the governance, but a way to educate and basically share this functionality with the users so that they will be involved into the governance and decision making in the ecosystem. And it's not really possible to talk about governance without mentioning that security aspect of mobile wallets. Basically, we need to maximize security aspect of mobile wallet if we are talking about the governance, especially if we are talking about counselors using the mobile wallet, right? And in this case, we need to integrate with the cold wallets, such as Party Signer, such as Ledger and others, which we basically discuss with the community, which is like which wallet is the most used, which is most popular, let's say. But we're willing to implement with the Party Signer by the default, and we will see for the others. And there are other features like a multi-signature support, proxy support, and the same goes, like I just mentioned, for the governance. We are not only implementing the support of these features, but we also want to kind of educate users how to properly use these features, because by the default, basically it's very unique features, or not unique, but very useful features for the users, right? And there is a need to learn about them before using. So we will try to also address that. And with parachains evolving, we are really looking towards the XCM-based features like cross-chain transfers and others to implement by the end of 2022, probably. So that's the roadmap, or how we see that for the next year for now. Yeah, as I mentioned, we will discuss with the community what to do. But yeah, you can expect definitely the Party Signer to be implemented as a cold wallet, and yeah, we will see how it goes with others. All right, and yeah, what's next? So Android application is already available. I think it's like almost 2 weeks since we launched the Android app. For the iOS application, the App Store has increased the set of verifications for the company or for the Apple developer accounts to publish the blockchain specific apps. So we're in the process of complying the requests. And while our iOS users are waiting, we decided to provide the Firebase version, which I just showed you to the community. So anyone can use our link to add basically to our Firebase and receive iOS version right now. And as soon as App Store will approve our iOS app, it will be available in the App Store. And yes, the next points would be to compose the proposal to the Kusama Treasury with features which we mentioned. We probably will add some general features as well, just to improve the whole like user experience to the app. But yeah, you can expect something like the app browser or even governance, for example, to be submitted like probably by the end of the month or early next month. And yes, we're planning to cooperate with the parachain teams because it's starting to, the ecosystem is really growing, and there are lots of exciting features which we would like to see in Nova Wallet, and we are talking with the parachain teams about the integration. And you can see that, for example, with Moonbeam, we already agreed on certain functionalities to be added, such as mover staking, for example. And yeah, that's basically it. Let me address the questions as well. So let's go back to Raul question. So how does your plan for audit looks like? Do you have a roadmap in place for this and a team to execute it? I think this is something that could easily be added as an item for a treasury proposal. being this an open source wallet app. Yes, for the security audit, we have a vision. We don't have a detailed plan yet. However, we are willing to do so because, as you mentioned, this is an open source application, and we need to make sure that basically the security aspects would be top notch. We're also willing to prioritize cold wallets because I know several users from the community who are not willing to deal with adding their accounts to the mobile wallet due to their vision and security preferences. So we need to prioritize that so that users can basically use the no wallet and keep their accounts like in offline mode, right? So yeah, we will prioritize the security audit as well. Really looking toward the Dia browser because that enables everything else in short. Yes, exactly. That's our vision as well. The only limitation here, I see that the developers of D apps are not always make their applications mobile friendly, let's say, which means that, yeah, the interface of these D apps can look weird. But gladly, most of the D apps which we have tested internally works pretty fine on mobile. What are minimal requirements? iOS 15 can get it work with the Firebase on iOS 14. I would ask Stanislav or Ruslan to address that because I cannot recall by myself the mean iOS version. I think it's something like 12.4 or something like that. But yeah, Ruslan or Stanislav or Alexander, if you're on the call, please help me with that one in the chat. You should prioritize audit as item for a proposal. I think it's important you do. Yes, okay, I have noted this role. Thank you. All right, I think that's it. We more than 1 hour on the demo. Sorry for taking so much time, but I was really happy to see everyone here. Thank you so much for joining us. I will share the recording after the demo, and we will share the slides as well. And once again, thank you so much for joining, and see you next time. Bye.